Listen.
Oh my gosh.
That's a nice one, huh?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to do a little metal detecting today. We're on a river, at a ford on a river. This has been hunted before, so I'm not thinking we're going to get like tons of stuff, but you never know. We got the new vortex with us today. I've never used that here, so we might get lucky. Now, if you notice, I have 2 kayaks. Mike is going to join me. He should be here in about an hour or so. He got tied up doing something. So hopefully we're going to find some stuff today. I'll get you out as soon as I do. All right, so let me show you what I found so far. I have 2 targets. One is non-ferrous, meaning it's not iron, and the other one is ferrous, meaning it's iron. I just dug this right here, kind of out in the middle, and it was down a foot. So that's a terrible sign. When you have lightweight stuff like this that's that far into the cobbles, boy, it makes it tough digging because there's going to be more of these under the cobbles. That's one reason I don't like to dig where there's a lot of loose rocks, because that's what happens. Everything sinks down, especially the heavy stuff. It's right on the bottom, but even the light stuff works its way down. I dug a piece of iron. I'm hoping to find some horseshoes here to see if I'm, right on the ford, but I haven't found any yet. Well, this is our first amazing find, and quite frankly, I have no idea what it is. Beautiful big signal though. So there could be belt buckles and Civil War cannons in here, if we're finding stuff like that. Well, maybe toy cannons. Well, I just found the first mini ball of the day. It looks like it's dropped, but if you look at it closely, you can see how it's flattened right there. Flattened right there. And it's got kind of like little gravelly things, where like gravel pressed into it. So I think this is probably the ford, and this was dropped in the water, and either horses or wagons ran over it and press it down into the sand. I've seen this before in fords. Well, I can't say 100% this is from the American Civil War era, but it could be. Could be earlier or later. But this is a giant fishing weight. Got a hole right there. That's where the string would have gone through it. Nice big beautiful signal to be in here. So it seems like I've been showing you one of these almost every trip. This is a piece of lead solder that goes to a tin can, like a Civil War era tin can. Now they did use these slightly after the war, but this is something I find a lot in Civil War camps and places in the river along camps too. But you can see it's really soft. It gives off a pretty nice little signal. I told you a million times how that's used, so I'm probably just going to skip it in this video. But I had made a nice little squeaker. So I found more of the doodad. So this is something kind of neat. I've got a little signal here, but I want to show you something totally unrelated, other than it's something you might see when you're on the river. Ton of iron in here. You're going to have to put that up so it quits beeping. So if you look at this old log right here that's dying, you see all these little weird little white things poking out of it. Looks like something really weird. But what it is, this is where there's like little insects in there, and they're eating the wood. And this is their casts, or when I say casts, I mean poop. This is their poop coming up. So isn't that kind of weird? You'll see that, quite often. And whenever you do, there's dead wood and there's something eating it on the inside. Oh, that's gross, Jig. I'll watch my videos. So I just wanted to show you one of these. This is what I call a modern sinker. Well, one that was made in a mold. You can see how it's got all these flat edges on it. That shape right there, so that tells me that was poured into a mold. So that's probably, that's after the Civil War. Now when you find the ones that I call homemade, those are ones typically that aren't multi faceted like that, don't have a lot of edges, and a lot of times you see where they've been carved and stuff, and usually they have a number on them for the number of ounces that it is. So this is another sinker or homemade fishing weight, but it's more modern. Now you can tell it's a fishing weight because it's got a little hole right there. But if you look at it, well, actually I don't know. I thought it was maybe a piece of a battery, but I don't think it is because it's got writing on it right there. Can't quite make it out. So that's a piece of lead where they did definitely use that for a fishing weight. I'll get you a nice close-up picture of that, and we'll try to figure out what it says. So here's a big old unfired rifle bullet. So that's a live bullet right there. I don't think there's any way in the world it would fire, so we're not going to try to send it down range later today, but just wanted to show you that. So here's a big old chunk of iron right here. Now it's kind of looks like it could be an exploded artillery shell. It actually is. It's a piece of pig iron that's been broken up. I'm 99% sure, because you see that's not really round enough. Well, it's pretty rough. It's too heavy and thick. So I think it's a piece of pig iron, and that might be an indication of the ford as well, because they would lose a lot of this stuff when they're crossing, especially if like the wagon turned over or something. So this is kind of a weird little doodad. See, he's got like curling, not curling, but curling, knurling. Knurled, I can't remember what the name is. Probably some type of lid. I guess those things on the side is so you can turn it with a tool. Definitely not Civil War era, and I think it's made out of the same material as that first piece we found, you know, the bigger, those two big pieces. So not sure what it is, but it was a good signal. And Mike made it down. He's up above me just a little bit looking around, and hopefully he'll find a couple nice belt buckles. Found another object made out of the same stuff as we've been finding, those bigger pieces. This is actually part of a toy gun, like a cat pistol. So here's an interesting little find. This is like a piece of lead. I can't tell if it's just been flattened out, like a flattened out bullet or something, or melted. It's got some little lines on it right there. I'll try to get you a picture. Thought it might be like a homemade sinker, but I'm not so sure because there's not a hole in it. But I thought it was a bale seal when I first found it, but I kind of doubt that now. All right, put her in a bag and let's go find some more stuff. So I just found this like weird ball of iron. I thought it might be a grape shot at first, you know, that's something that would be fired out of a cannon. There was a battle in this area, but I think it's probably going to be like a bolt or something underneath there, or nut rather. It's not round enough. Yeah, that's probably a washer right there. Oh well. So for you guys that have been around a while, you'll recognize what this is. And this is part of a leg-hold animal trap. This would be something that would be set along the bank here to catch muskrats, raccoons, mink, stuff like that. It's actually in pieces right now. A lot of it's missing, but you can see this is one of the jaws that would slam shut on the poor little critter's paw. And that's the pan right there, that little round thing that they would step on, but it is completely falling apart. We'll haul it out of here. So this is a juicy little find. Check it out. That is a shoe buckle, beautiful shoe buckle. Look at the designs on that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? Need to look around to see if I can find the centerpiece that goes to it. But yeah, that's a beauty right there. Heck yeah, man. So I have another nice homemade sinker. You can see how it's got nice squared edges on it. Got the hole in the top. Definitely not poured in a mold. Now, I'm in an area right now where I found a lot of these, and also a lot of bullet sinkers. So I'm really hopeful we'll come across, you know, some bullets with a hole in the top that were made into fishing weights. At least we got this one. So I found another homemade sinker, and it was actually in the exact same hole this one was in that I just found. So they were probably tied together for some extra weight. And when they lost them both. Now I just checked the hole and there's no more in there. Always, you know, always check your hole, which I have to admit, sometimes I don't. So I got another little homemade sinker. I was hoping this is one from a bullet. It's about the right size, but normally if you look at the base, if it's been done with a bullet, a mini ball, there will be a cavity in it. There's certainly none here, and there's no sign of any rings. I actually had one just out there a little bit, but it was I could see it, but I couldn't pull it out of the rocks, and it was just a little too deep and swift for me to stay down. You know, the river is up. You can see it's cloudy. Now, it's not up a lot, maybe only, you know, 6 or 8 inches, but it's the river that's the lowest anywhere around here. Everything else is like still chocolatey brown, so. Oh well. We'll come back here in the summer, find more stuff, I think. Well, it is the summer, isn't it? It's middle of July. Once the river finally goes down, maybe in August. So remember a little while ago, I found that little round piece of lead. I said, it kind of looks like a bale seal, but probably isn't. Looky here, I just found a bale seal. I think it says TX and a 5 on it. But I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So that other one probably was a bale seal as well. I'll get you a good picture of that. Hopefully you're looking at it right now. So I just found this little coppery thing. Pretty thick, so it's not a coin. Thought maybe it was a like a railroad button, but I don't know. It might have had a hook thing there. We'll have to get that. I don't know if you can see it. We'll get that cleaned up. I'll get you a good picture. Just kind of reminds me of a button, but I don't think it is. Looks like a design on it right there, though. Well, what do you think? Want to go duck hunting? That's a number 6 shot. It's kind of small for a duck, but I guess you could use it. That's a 12-gauge shotgun shell. A lot of times, what you see is fine. It's just what we call the brass on it, which is that little piece right there. But yeah, that's unfired. Could have been lost from a duck hunter, or maybe a squirrel hunter up in the woods. Who knows? As you can tell, the water's a little scummy here. I just found a fired bullet, but that is a post-Civil War modern one. If you look right here in those little grooves, you can see, I believe, if my vision is correct, you can see what's called cannelures, which are little vertical lines, small vertical lines, a whole bunch of them around it. You go all the way around. If you ever see that, that means it's a post-Civil War bullet, at least 1880 or so or later. But yeah, definitely a fired junk bullet. So this looks like fired bullet here. I was thinking it could be a part of a Civil War bullet, but I don't know. That little, see how small the looks like the base of it was. But boy, there's an awful lot of lead for that being that small a caliber. I have to think about this one. Probably a shotgun slug, a modern one, but I don't know. Let's think about that, and I hope my boat didn't go away. Get back here, you. There we go. All right. Wait, can reach it. Let's keep at it. So I have a nice little signal in a hole, and I'm digging on it. It's down a good ways, and this just popped out, which is an old bottle. I mean, that could be Civil War era right there. Well, it's not a whole bottle, part of a bottle. But anyways, a really good signal, and I just kind of wanted to show you that because it's exciting to have an old piece of glass on top of it. Chances of it being a can, modern can, are not real good, I hope. But anyway, right in there, sounding pretty good. It's down about 10 inches, I think. I'm going to go ahead and dig at it, and I'll get you out when I get it out. The target, that is. Well, that didn't take long. What we have here is a big old homemade sinker. And someone poured it in some type of mold, at their house, I guess, and put a loop in it. Looks like a little brass loop. Nice big signal. Definitely 100% under the bottle. But, you can never tell. It could be that age, could be newer, because the bottle could have just washed out of the bank and just got right on top of it with a piece of bottle. But still, that's a nice little find. There's something a little bit strange. I think it's pot metal, so it's probably no older than late 1800s, but it's got a design on it. Looks almost like it might have been part of a lock, maybe a cheap lock, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you can make that out or not. I'll try to get you a picture of it. All right, so not sure what this is. I originally thought it was solder. But solder usually has some writing on the insides of it, and it looks like it's cut on the end, but that could be solder for like putting together lead pipes and whatnot. But it's definitely been used for a fishing weight. You can see the hole right there. Nice big old chunk of lead. So just dug another big old nice homemade sinker. You notice how white it is. It's got a lot of patina compared to the others. So this might have been up there in the bank for a number of years, and then the bank washed away, came down in the river, because that's definitely a lot more oxidized than most of the other ones I'm finding. So I'm not far from where I found the shoe buckle. I just found them the Lincoln cent. I thought I might have had a real. I was hoping maybe the next signal. Now this is definitely a duck weight. I'll show you up close. I find these quite often in the rivers, and this is where they would have had a decoy duck. I think that's the weight that holds them down so it doesn't blow over. Piece of lead. We'll scrap that. just found a fired bullet, but what it is, it's a shotgun slug. You can always tell that because they're always very squat. And if you look, they'll have, quite often, they'll have like this little fake faux rifling on it right there. Because of course these are shot of a smooth bore, and in an attempt to get it to spin, they put these little things right here, so it kind of spins going out the barrel. That's a small, like 20 gauge. But yeah, you'll find these out in the woods and stuff where you're metal detecting for sure. A big chunk of silver, maybe?
If I can find it. I guess you could show them that. I like that. Piece of pottery. Oh yeah, look at this big boy.
Big old sinker.
Nice. You know what that is, Bo?
Yep.
What is that?
Actually, being in copper, I don't know.
Oh,
Run, Mikey! I laugh because I've done that 100 times, man. I was out with the Garrett guys one time, taking them digging out here, and my kayak disappeared like half a mile downriver. They're like, hey, Jay, what's going on? And poor Miguel from Garrett had to go get it for me. He was like, took him for an hour to go downriver and get it. But that's why I'm laughing at you.
okay.
But being brass, I don't know.
2 of them in the same area.
Yeah, I suspect it's something like that.
And I had that piece of silver, I think. I hope I didn't throw it in the water. See, I start scratching it.
Yeah.
It has that black patina, but and it's heavy.
I think it's like brass or copper.
Okay.
And that looks more coppery to brassy to me than silver.
Well, where I scratched it there, it's kind of a... I don't know. I mean, it's probably...
I think you need glasses more than I do.
I need them bad. And I can't find them. Look at this big old thing of lead.
Oh,
I thought it was a sabot, but it's not.
That's something melted. Well,
weird, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, I got to make sure it's not. And then I did get a little tom back.
Oh, that's nice.
Down there at that
Cute.
one area, and then I got, you've seen the bullet probably. I got one big 69er.
Oh, I didn't see that. Right.
I think it's a 69.
Yeah, definitely. Very nice.
Yeah. And you could tell they made it in, that's why that line's in there. It probably was a sinker of some sort. Did you get anything good?
My best find was this thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's a nice one, huh?
Yes.
All right, so I guess we're going to head on out of here so Mike doesn't have to like run down the river and catch his kayak again.
That was funny.
That was funny. Like I said, I've done it so many times. No problems. All right, so we're going to get out. We'll see you on the next one, I hope.
Take care, everybody.
Hopefully you can still see me because my lens is all fogged up.
Mike's all dirty too.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Exactly what she's saving, where it is, or what it might be. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby. I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She don't care if you're dying, or if you're living, or somewhere in between. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby, and I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where